Good day, Guardians. Thank you so much for coming back. So today, Python. This is a great gun. I'm not shitting on this gun. I love it in strikes. Overflow is great when you can get it to work right. I ran into something weird where if your reserves are full, it won't refill your magazine. And that's weird to me. I think that if your reserves are full, even if they're full, if you have 10 rounds in the magazine, it should just fill from your reserves to your magazine, which it doesn't. You know, it should just, even if you're picking up the rounds, it should say, oh, okay, yeah, you're picking up rounds. We're going to take the round and take it off the ground so you can't get it and stack your ammo even more. And then instead we're going to take what we would have thought was that 6 rounds from the brick and take it from your reserves and put it in the magazine. But it doesn't do that. So you literally have to waste every bullet in your reserves in hopes that you don't pick up another brick until you can refill your magazine to the full, you know, shotgun reserves that you have, right? I think it's 23 is the max you can get. But if you have anything in your other reserves other than the magazine, it won't fill to that 23. Say you'll have 17 and then 5 in your reserves, and those 5 will always stay there until you completely get rid of every bullet, refill the gun, and then refill, right? You see what I'm saying? You can't have any reserves, or the reserves will stay in the reserves. So I found it very hard to get a full overflow magazine. Now I was running, right, Tempest Strike, okay? You throw your melee at somebody, I shoot like a big ogre with 1-2 punch, and then I cross counter his ass after the Tempest Strike because I have cross counter for 3 seconds. Now, that's beautiful. It works wonderful in strikes. It works wonderful everywhere. It even works wonderful in Gambit. But the problem that I was finding was momentum and invaders, right? So I was also running Absolution and Invigoration so I can get orbs of light reduce melee cooldowns, and then using melee abilities and abilities reduce ability cooldowns. It's kind of a ridiculous sweet perk. And then, you know, power ammo scavenger, finder, that kind of stuff for my shotgun. But momentum, getting the ammo in your magazine with overflow to make 1-2 punch and Counter-Strike work. I was finding a very difficult time because competition, everybody's shooting the same thing, everybody wants Python now. I was finding it very hard to make this work and find it, you know, viable, and find the symmetry happening, and, you know, every 30 seconds, a minute, having it proc and having it work. And on top of that, if the whole overflow thing happens where your reserves are full and not your magazine, then you're stuck with using old-fashioned, or you're stuck with, you know, firing it, reloading it. And reloading it is atrocious. The reload speed on this thing should be taken to the shed. It's terrible. So, another thing was invaders. How do I deal with the invaders? So I was rocking Darcy because I found target acquired with that significantly more precision damage if somebody popped a bubble or like a tether. You know, I was doing like 31,000 a headshot at 17 rounds is what I was getting for, you know, 7 rounds in the magazine and then 17 in my reserves. So, you know, 31,000 times 17 on the math whiz, but somewhere in the 300,000 damage every round. So imagine that was round 2. That was 2 stack. So imagine 4 stack or 3 stack. You know, you yourself could probably melt the Primeval with Darcy if you're hitting every single crit and every headshot. But usually Hammer Titans are, I don't even want to get into that, okay? They're pulling their heads every which way. So, you know, what happens when you run into the overflow reserve thing, where it's all in your reserves and then you're stuck with using old-fashioned or spare rations. And you know, you can't use a sniper for double special because even with the scavenger, the returns are brutal. You know, you get 3 rounds for this, 4 rounds for this because it's splitting the brick. So it's just brutal, even with finders, because the finders, apparently, Bungie says if you run 2, it's the same in the equivalency of running 1, right? You might as well run a heavy and a special. So I was finding it very difficult to find a good build with this gun that works with this gun in Gambit. Anywhere else, beautiful. Doesn't matter. Find what you want, use what you want. But PvP, any PvP situation, it sucks. It neuters it. It makes it difficult because then the invader comes. If you're not a good sniper, what if he comes up on you? The rate of fire is so atrocious. Wow, I can't talk. If you don't hit that first shot, you're done. You are done. Tractor cannon, his shotgun, right? It's 50-50. If you don't hit that first shot, You better pray you hit every shot, and then you better pray you're in melee distance for 1-2 punch. So again, for me, this is a very situational, very difficult gun to find a build for. I found a build, but it's just hard to get it to work. When it works, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, but I found much more, you know, viability out of this Badlander slide shot quick draw with sprint grip, because then it gives you snapshot. So for me, I don't know. This feels better in my opinion, because yeah, the 1-2 punch gives you extra damage, but I found with not only the rate of fire, the how fast it is and snappy it is, right? You can proc cross counter a lot more, because getting the melee kills, getting the orbs of light, getting your melee back on top of the dodge to get your melee back, it's a lot more viable. Just you can get a lot more done with it in Gambit. This is a lot more better if you're wanting to run through a strike, if you're wanting to stay alive and not having to reload. This is if you're super sweaty, sliding around everywhere, you know, trying to get kills. But again, I'll show a little gameplay of the Python and how I felt it was in the background. But it is fun. It's a great gun. Don't think I'm shitting on it. I'm just finding it really hard to work in Gambit, the mode that you had to play to get it. So, as always, eyes up, Guardian. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You don't have to, but whatever, you know. Thanks for watching. Peace. Don't do it. Well, there goes 6 motes. There goes 11 motes. 1, 2, 3. Jesus, that reload time. I just gotta get used to this rate of fire. I'm not used to this rate of fire. It's so slow compared to a Badlander. You know? So slower. Man, this thing hits hard. Dredgen Mike, of course I'm gonna revive. No, of course I'm gonna revive you, Dredgen Mike.
Your allies invaded. Your enemy called up a primeval. They kill it. They win it. Your invaders down, but they secured 2 kills. Decent work.
God, the jump should not be like that, even in this mode. Ow. Ow. No, you don't want me. You don't want me. I've been places. You don't want me. Okay, we caught up. They're only ahead of us by like 20 seconds. Let's go, boys. Oh. Look at that flick. Oh, and I miss. Right after that, I miss. I love it. I love it. My man. Holy shit, reload speed makes oh my god, that thing sucks. I love the gun as far as the perks and what it gives you, you know, but man, that reload speed hurts me. See what this does, you know. We got him. Let's go, squad. Popcorn.